Well, good morning, folks. I didn't get much video yesterday. I'm just in a big hurry to get this done. We got a bunch of rain coming, just trying to get other jobs started, and it's just this one's turned out to be a little bit of a challenge. It's a good thing for a pond, but it makes building it very difficult. We just got a lot of water coming into this pond when it rains, and you know, all of these underground springs. There's 4 or 5 different places up above me that water's just pretty much a constant flow coming out of the ground. It's a great thing for a pond. Like I said, I'm not complaining, but it has made it a little difficult to build. Just having to leave little coffer dams everywhere, just damming up water, trying to keep it from flooding the bottom where we've got to be able to get the truck down in the bottom of this pond. It adds like an extra 2 or 3 minutes a trip to drive all the way around and the top load here. So it's making it a little challenging, but we're getting it done. Made some really good progress yesterday. I'd say the biggest challenge with this stuff is you can't back the truck out on it. It's so wet, and it's just making it a little time consuming, I guess you could say. Once you get a bunch of piles stacked up over there, it's hard to get them all pushed. I don't have anybody to come out here and keep them knocked down for the time being. So we just have to haul a bunch, and then when we run out of room to dump, we got to go up there and push them off. That's kind of what we got going on, but it's working out okay. It just makes for a little bit of a difficult time. So we've almost got the whole borrow pit filled in up there, which is good. I've still got several places that I can put dirt. I'm trying not to overload the truck because it is a dead pull up out of this pond bottom. And as you can see, the bottom is pretty wet. Lockers are working really well, thankfully. But it's a pull up out of this bottom of this pond here, so just trying to get this thing done. Being a little hard on the truck, but that's what it's for. So, but we're making good progress. I've got that slope cut in over there. Got the pond dam pretty much up the grade. It needs about 1 inch or 2 in some places. I got my shoreline flagged off. Kind of got that back slope roughed in. The way this lays in here, I'm probably just going to have a real kind of shallow area right here that water's going to run in from that spring up there. Not exactly sure how I'm going to build that just yet, but it's a little, it's going to be a little bit of a weird transition into the pond from right there, but nothing crazy. And I may come up with a better idea on how to build it when I get to that point, but as of right now, I haven't really figured out a better way to do it just yet. Trying to transfer some of this material up here, so when the truck's here, I can get it loaded out. I had to dam that spring up right there. Ah, this stuff's heavy. I had to dam that spring up right there to keep it from just absolutely flooding this cut. Look at that blue clay. Man, that's some nasty stuff there, guys. That's what you want, though. That stuff don't let water go anywhere. It is wet and nasty and pretty much impermeable. And it appears my truck is back, so I'm gonna grab one more scoop of this stuff. Try to fill my invention in here. You can see how wet this whole stuff is. It's awful. I don't know how I'm ever gonna get the daggum undercarriage on this thing cleaned out. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. May just not clean it out. Hopefully you guys can see okay. I've been here since about 6 o'clock, 6:15, loading out. I loaded and hauled this morning, about, I don't know, 3 or 4 loads before Jenna got here driving the truck. But the sun was just beaming in. It was laying down on its side early this morning. It rises over there, just over that tree line, so you guys wouldn't have been able to see a dang thing, so I just decided not to turn the camera on. But now that it's up there a little better, I decided to turn it on. Just kind of watch the progress here. Videos are going to be a little limited. I've got a busted ankle, so I'm not going to be getting too carried away, getting out, putting the GoPro on the truck, and trying to get you guys better shots. I'd love to do that, but I can't right now. My right ankle I dislocated it this weekend, and don't want to do too much on it, trying to let it heal up. So is a dead pull on out of here. Hopefully we can get all this out of here today in a timely manner. Then I can take all this slope dirt over here. I still gotta cut this slope in. I got this part behind me pretty much cut in, but I've still got to cut that slope in up through there. So I'm probably gonna take all this dirt and put it behind the pond dam. It's a little drier, so it'll be a little bit better to grade out. Just trying to get rid of all this wet, gunky stuff right now. But that's kind of what we got going on, folks. Just loading and hauling all day. Alrighty, folks. We have been just hammering down this morning. Getting this shoreline cut in now. Got into some pretty good dirt. Actually giving this dirt to my neighbor. He's got a place that butts right up to the property line, up there at the road, where the road dives off, and it's kind of like a vertical that you can't mow. And I fixed my side. You know, I filled in all the way up against the road where it can be mowed easily and maintained. So I'm donating him 4 or 5 truckloads of dirt, where he can, I'm gonna fix it for him, and just that way everything blends in. You know, I'm not gonna leave a bad spot for him to have to contend with. You know, he's a good guy, and it'll just make it a lot better up there, being able to mow it and maintain it, and it'll tie both of our properties in very, very nicely. So that's all that matters. Ain't no big deal. I got to dig it out of the pond anyway. I'm probably gonna give him probably one more load here, this load here, and that should be plenty. That's a bunch of dirt up there to take care of everything. But I'll show you guys here in just a second the progress I've made this morning. Biggest goal here is just get the dirt out of the pond. Oh boy, we're tipping over. So I've got all that area dug out. Still got to fix all of it with a dozer, but I've got this shoreline cut out. The problem here, guys, this turned into about 1.5 acre pond, I'd say. Just got to run it right up through there. Probably gonna dig a little fish bed, probably like 4 feet down right there. Just a little flat area for fish to maybe put a couple stumps in there. You know, it just depends on what I'm feeling like. But yeah, all of this is coming along really nice. I'm just kind of roughing it in with the excavator. I'll take and fix it with the bulldozer this afternoon when I get all the dirt out and get it all hauled up there. Got a lot of dozer work to do, a lot of cleaning up to do, but it's coming along really nice. This is the last day I've got to work on this, and it's coming at pretty much perfect timing, because the rain's coming probably tonight. I don't know what that was. Rain's coming in tonight, so got to get all this dug out, get the slopes fixed. That over there will be easy to do. I'm just going to take and pull that slope up with the excavator, throw it behind me, and the dozer will push it around through there. We've got a big area over there we can waste that dirt, not have to truck it. That'll be good anyway. Get Dad out of that hot truck. I try to let him run the excavator, but he doesn't ever want to. He always wants to run the truck, which is fine, you know. He doesn't know how I want the pond dug, and hell, I don't really know how I want the pond dug. I'm just kind of digging it, making it up as I go. So I can't really blame him in that aspect. That's plenty of dirt there for the neighbor to fix everything. But it's coming along really well. I'm very, very pleased with the progress. It's been a bit of an undertaking, a bit more of an undertaking than I thought it would be. It's just kind of one of those deals, you know. All this ground in here was a lot a lot more wet than I thought it would be, than I anticipated. So it's made for a little bit of a challenging project here. As you can see, the truck is absolutely destroying the bottom of this pond. That's kind of the natural ravine that the water ran down, so naturally it's a lot wetter in that bottom. Up on the sides it's pretty hard, you know, the truck's not really making that big of a deal there, but probably going to leave a lot of this stuff in the bottom of the pond. There's no sense in getting it out. Fish really like an uneven pond bottom. They don't like a flat pond bottom. So in a way it works good for the fish. It works good for me because I don't have to get all that muck out of the bottom, and works good for the fish. Kind of gives them contour to hide and little corners and nooks and crannies. And definitely going to leave that big coffer dam. No sense in digging it out. Whenever the water gets up, you won't even be able to see it. So I'm going to leave it, more than likely, unless I just change my mind. There's a good possibility I change my mind, but as of right now, I'm not going to. I'm going to haul the rest of this slope dirt. I'm going to top load the truck and haul the rest of this slope dirt behind the dam over there. It needs probably 8 or 10 loads of dirt put behind the dam just to fix that back slope the way it needs to be fixed. I hit it right on the head. Dad asked yesterday if we could get the pond dug out in one more day, and I said, we'll have the bottom dug out in 2 or 3 hours. And that's about right. We started it. I got here at 6:30 this morning and had to take the dozer down in here and kind of get it ready for the truck and whatnot, and just that's the biggest thing, is getting your truck a place to run. I'd say this is going to be the last load that he has to come down in the pond for. All the rest of them really need to go behind the dam, and there's really not that much more dirt to cut out. If we need more dirt, we've got it over there. But the high water mark is really about right where my front track is, front of my track. So oh yeah, I'll take and transfer this down once I get him gone. All right, folks, I'm gonna fix this slope here and I will be back in a minute. All right, folks, I'm gonna set you guys up right there, and we're gonna try to get this slope cut in before GoPro gets too hot and quits me. Dad said, be careful on that slope. You're not invincible. I'm like, what the I was like, what the F does that even mean? I'm not invincible. That's maybe a 2.5 to 1. This big wide track bastard, you ain't gonna flip this rascal over. I guess I'll have to show him a thing or two. I've cut in steeper than that with a damn standard track machine. Ain't nothing to it just to do it. I like to make my pond banks pretty steep. That way nothing takes a chance of growing on the banks. She's a little steep. I cut that one in a little too steep, but I'll show you a trick here. We'll go right around this top edge here, get up here a little higher, and cut this crown off. That'll soften this slope a bunch. You're just kind of guessing when you're in an excavator how to cut the slope in. You can get it close, but he said, you're not invincible. I wanted to reference that guy on Instagram that's like, do you not know who I am, kid? She's a little steep, but that's all right. That's the way I like it. Good and steep. I really only slid off because I had to clip too much out, and then whichever side you got to clip out is the side, you know, that has more resistance, and then that ends up pushing that track around. I made me a little shelf here for the fish. They'll have a little flat area to kind of congregate. Trying to keep this door from rattling like crazy. I guess I should really, when I've got you guys set up outside, I guess I'm just as well off to. Oh boy. That's a little steep there. I guess I'm as well off to just leave the dang microphone off where you guys don't have to listen to this door. That's the thing about these wide track dozers. They stick to slopes like glue. I mean, this is a 45-degree slope right here that I'm on, which is basically, where's my little chart here? 45 degrees is basically a 2-to-1, if not almost a 1-to-1. This dozer just doesn't have any issue sticking on a slope like that. I'm gonna clean this pond bottom up just a little bit. I just can't stand the way it looks right now. I'm gonna leave my berms Fish love little nooks and crannies like that to get in. When I get done, I'm gonna come down in here and dig a few relief ditches through those berms where the fish can get in and out. We're gonna have this bad boy looking good. Hopefully you guys are still on out there. I can't, for some reason, and you guys may know a better trick, but I can't keep my GoPro from overheating. I don't know what it is about them, but for some reason they just want to overheat on me. Like they'll record, you know, 7-8 minutes of footage outside, and then all of a sudden, you know, you think you're recording and you're not. You go out there and your daggum thing's been off, and you know it says, you know, GoPro turned off because it got too hot or whatever. So that's frustrating. When you think you've been recording and you haven't been. I just really have to take my foot and push against this door to make it not rattle. Oh. Look at the dang water coming in this is crazy. Definitely not going to have any issues keeping water in this pond. It's just coming up out of the ground. Under no circumstances do I have to do this down in this pond bottom. It's gonna you know, underwater soon. But I just want to make it look a little more presentable. I'm gonna push all this material. I'm just clipping the ground here. I'm just kind of knocking the lumps down, but I'm gonna push all this material over here and then push it across, or when we get ready to fill that slope in, we'll have some material over here to kind of push. I know one thing though, the bottom of this pond is hard. I'd say you guys are getting pretty close to turning off out there, if I had to guess. There's not really much need in doing this, but it just makes the floor prettier and just makes me happy. I'm OCD about that kind of stuff, so I think I still see you guys on. Yep, I do. You're still recording. Now I'm just gonna go down here and try to kind of knock this edge down. Slope turned out pretty good. I'm gonna take and try to push some of this material where I don't have just so much muck right here. I stacked all this stuff, pushed all this stuff right here this morning, trying to corral that water where I could get the truck down in here a little better. We're going to take and basically take and pull that slope up with the excavator, cut it in around through there, and use that material to kind of fill in up there above the pond. But I'm just trying to get rid of some of this dirt. That way I don't have such an ugly spot right here in the pond. Fill in my ramp with this wetter stuff, and then I'll go right over the top of it with some better material. Well guys, it happened. You turned off because you got too hot. But there's that slope done, roughed in anyway. I'll probably come back down here and track it in. That's water level all the way up through there. So we're gonna have a pretty good little pond here. I'm excited. I am leaving these berms in here. Take the track hoe and kind of bust them, and they just serve as really good fish habitat. You know, I'm not gonna mess around with those too much. No sense in it. Just a bunch of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever more loads of muck that I got to get out of here. But this is kind of the slope here. It's going to bend around through there and tie in back over there. And this is the head section here where that spring runs down through here, so it'll stay fed. And then that I got to break that little thing there with the track hoe eventually. But guys, we're gonna go take some lunch, and when we get back, we're gonna start working on this slope here, bailing that dirt up out of the hole and cutting this slope in and making this look good, and we'll hopefully wrap this pond up today. Alrighty folks, it is 5 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. I've been just grading my hind end off, trying to get all this stuff roughed in. It's a lot. I'm not anywhere near done, but I got the right side of the road roughed in. Got the back slope fixed for the most part. Decent. Nothing. It's not phenomenal finish work, but it'll do for now. But here's what we've really been working on. Got the pond roughed in. That slope all the way up through there is really wet because all the groundwater that's coming out of that slope. So it makes it really difficult to grade. So it's a little ugly in the bottom, but it's a mud pit down there. The water is coming up out of the bottom of the pond. It's insane, the groundwater that's down in that area. It's coming in. There's a pink flag right over there somewhere. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's water coming in that ditch. There's water coming in that ditch. I've got to take the excavator and let that break in there. But and yeah, and then we got all this water here. But I elected to leave this here. Talk to a buddy of mine that's going to stock my pond for me. He does that for a living, and he said to leave the little berms and stuff in the corners and nooks and crannies. He said the fish thrive on that. He said they absolutely love it. So I'm going to leave those. If I can get back out here in time, I'm gonna try to get me a couple of stumps and throw in there. But I should have hit that slope at least one more time. I just ran out of time, guys. Just trying to get everything finished. All that'll be underwater anyway, but I just ran out of time. It's basically the long and the short of it. But this is basically going to be how I'm going to be coming to my house. Up this, basically this straight here. My house, my walkout basement's going to be sitting right up here on this top knob. But yeah, guys, it's coming along great. I'm very happy with it. You'll be able to see the pond really well up here, which excites me, because that's the whole reason I wanted to build a pond down there to begin with. Except it was just a perfect spot for a pond. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much a wrap on this project for the time being. I'm excited to see if the pond fills up with water in the next week or so. It's supposed to rain like crazy, so maybe the pond will fill up with water while I'm gone. That would be awesome. But it's definitely a big improvement on what it was. I'm I'll be glad to show some before and after pictures. But guys, that's gonna wrap this video up right here. I appreciate everybody watching. Sorry I couldn't get a bunch of footage today. Just been super busy trying to get this knocked out before I ran out of time. And my biggest thing was getting the entrance in up here. I'll drive up here real quick and show you. The road's actually, driveway's actually pretty smooth for the most part. These parts where the truck was backing in and out, it kind of marred it up a little bit, but I had to get my entrance done here because the inspector was coming out and they're gonna approve my entrance, so I fixed all the grade work for that, blended into the neighbor's yard over there like I told him I would, make sure all that water gets down through there, and hopefully they pass me right here. I don't see why they wouldn't, but anyway guys, that's a wrap on this one. I appreciate you guys.